Selling my daughter for 100 won. Chapter 4. In a place with no human rights, there was no food relief.
The people across the sea. The United Nations is sending relief rice. It will arrive tomorrow morning at Wonsan Harbor. Rice is arriving. This rumor alone makes the blood in our veins boil. Crowds of people run to the harbor. A moon as round as a rice cake. Tonight the winds are just right. Ah, this feels good. The shoulders of the waves dance in the night. Just seeing rice seems to make my hatred disappear. Just thinking about a full bag before my very eyes, I feel I can overcome death. With that resolution, the people await the morning. One day, another day, fainting from waiting for so long, biting dried lips, standing and staring at the pier for several days. The people on the other side of the ocean have no reason to know. Until the flag of the Republic of Korea is lowered, the government of the North refuses to allow a single grain of rice to be received. Although we are grateful for the ships of our fellow countrymen, even loaded with a mountain of relief rice, the relief boats of destiny from the Republic of Korea will not be allowed into the harbor. Their cargo will not be released. Even now, turning around, turning around, turning around again, and seeing the military trucks carrying the burlap bags of rice from the Red Cross. Looking down, looking down, looking down again, a few grains of rice left in the tire tracks after the relief rice was gone. There and there, at that place filled with pain, at that place my sadness is even now still dazedly standing. The condemned. Wherever there are people gathered, there is the sound of gunfire. Once again, today, before the masses, someone is publicly executed. Sympathy must never be shown. With sympathy and anger comes death. Gunshots are fired in place of words that could not be said in the proclamations. I wonder why the people seeing this today keep such a heavy silence. For the crime of stealing a burlap bag of rice, riddled with 90 bullets, a dead criminal. A farmer. The empty sky. Kim Il-sung, when he died, they said it was a bolt from the blue that crumbled the heavens and split the earth. Throughout the country, mourning flags were raised. For 3 years, under that heavy sky, no one had the right to live. Sadness was forced onto everyone. However, not 300, but 3 million have starved to death. Even if we are but humble farmers, and he was a great leader, but 3 million to 1. The government says the deaths of the people are a hardship. A hardship, but not a single flag of mourning is raised. This country's hollow sky. How many more must die from now until this country's government recognizes the deaths of its countrymen as deaths, recognizes the lives of the 3 million as lives?
Steel. Iron, it has the spirit of always resounding when hit. Even if bent, does not collapse. Such willpower. Iron, born from fire, does not scream. Such conviction. Does not know servitude. It does not decay. Such silence. Accordingly, because it is iron, when it becomes a blade, can cut through anything in the world. It gives strength in a clash. It can make way by clearing a road. It is the weapon of victory. That iron is made by those who had the discipline themselves, their blood boiling. Steel had to be the result which came from that. Born as humans hence, the silent rebelling laborers, defying the armored tyranny as they sat in their silence, were torn apart and pulverized by tanks. The feet of dictatorship, the caterpillars of the tanks of tyranny, are caked with the flesh of the laborers. The iron that they forged took their lives. The chimneys at the ironworks hold their breath, their lips trembling in anger. The screams of that day. When facing up to dictatorship, don't be human. To become human, become steel. Human substitute. Maddening, exasperating. Although we are human beings, the relief food from the government is rice for the officials, substitute food for us. Fallen leaves, peat, rice roots, kneaded together and called bread. A black lump. This is called substitute food. No doubt, pitiful countrymen, we, who are called citizens, must eat this substitute food and live. We, this country's human substitute. Substitutes for the million at the welcome demonstration, for the dictator who wields power. Substitutes for the 100% approval votes for the election of the representative of the Supreme People's Assembly. Substitutes for armed power. We must follow the military first policy until we die. Not even enough money for rice. This body becomes a substitute for gasoline. Carrying on our backs, a substitute for a truck. Becoming substitutes for oxen to plow the paddies and till the fields, our unfruitful way of life. To begin with, did we have the right to eat rice? These eyes can never see. This mouth can never say. For the sake of a single dictator, generations before and after us, we are trapped and live with the prison of socialism. Human substitutes. We, the substitutes of our countrymen. Our sadness, our pain. Has the government, even once, become substitutes for us in open politics? My countrymen, we who have lived as substitutes until this day, this time, is there anything we can't do as substitutes? Let us once again become the last human substitutes. Let us blow this government to bits. Let us become substitutes for bombs.
Our dear leader. He was never an officer in the military, nor was he a soldier. On his own he decorated himself with medals and promoted himself. He gave himself a star and appointed himself the supreme military commander. He is, after all, in a dimension different from others. He always sees we are at war. His limousine is a battleground vehicle. All roads that he travels on lead to the battle lines, without the exception of a single citizen. We are all called his warriors. His hobby is hunting. For music, he likes marches. He wears only one kind of clothes, clothes that resemble a uniform. He goes to foreign battle lines, wearing this. Even when begging, his fat stomach was a sight to see. There was no peace for him. Execution is always a victory. Because of his sharp sensitivity, the fear of the siege of imperialism and northern invasion could not be borne. At last his temper exploded, venturing into nuclear testing. There is no example in government of this rare military-first government, controlling the country with just one command, marching the highest-ranking official to create the poorest country. Human rights are decided with a gun, standing on the pinnacle of the world's evil. It is not enough to be grand. He flatters himself, calling it the strong, grand nation. Without firing a single shot, we, 3 million, who are not even his enemies, starved to death. Kim Jong Il is our dear leader. Proclamation. Throughout the cities, in every alley, everywhere you look, posted everywhere, proclamations, as if threatening the days, overflowing, every kind of proclamation. For stealing food, shot to death. Morning comes. For wasting electricity, shot to death. Another morning comes. For being disruptive on the trains, shot to death. As if to live is a crime. Shot. Shot. In the midst of the march of hardship, anyone who complains of hardship is shot to death. As soon as that proclamation is announced, the execution ceremony is carried out. The citizens are gathered. Bang, bang! They are made to hear the gunshots. They are made to see the people's blood. In these times of the storm of gunfire, we cannot even say we are hungry. Like a bomb deep within our hearts, even our sighs may be heard as words that commit a crime. The people hold their breath. Among the endless proclamations that ceaselessly threaten the people are the cruelest, the most long-winded proclamations. Political power comes forth. Political parties are born. From the muzzle of a gun, the military first government's proclamation. Kim Jong Il. 3 words.
Don't call it relief rice. To the people of the world, the rice that you send to this country, don't call it relief rice. The red of the Red Cross is caked with our blood. It would be better if we could not see the rice. We could withstand not having it and share accordingly. Pitiful people live like pitiful people. The relief rice comes. It passes before starving people. It slips past beggars. It goes to the military first places. The soldiers carry loads of it away. When the rice is taken away like this, it is not only the rice that is gone. The last of the hunger is gouged out. Even the sighs of an empty stomach do not remain. As if taken by a storm, it is gone. Life is shaken, gored, and broken. With that rice, soldiers are increased. Gun barrels are made. If there is any left over, that rice is used for the parade demonstration of troops, to show the power of the military, having eaten. This assistance, this relief, is only supporting that power. It is only aiding the dictator. It is a betrayal of humanitarian efforts. It is a deception by the Red Cross. Please, people of the world, if you have rice to send, better yet, fire into the sky, over our heads, over the heads of people with absolutely nothing. As in burning a straw shack, infested with bugs, when the bugs are dead, it's a refreshing feeling. When the main form of tyranny is blown up, the bomb of that day is truly the aid from the Red Cross, is truly our hope for humanitarianism.
Quietude. Choking, increasing darkness, quietude of a grave, orders issued by the military. Even time has stopped. Quietude of a gun's muzzle. Because of this quietude, in the instant of sudden turmoil, if a trigger is pulled, the people turn into ammunition and must face the target. Quietude of force. Quietude of sacrifice. The red flag of socialism, merely because of that single determination, dreams, Happiness, passion, must be loaded like ammunition, the quietude of a human explosive warehouse. Listening carefully, the quietude of the pitiful moans of the people can be heard. The yellowed faces of those suffering in silence, the quietude that can be seen. But above all this quietness exists an even bigger quiet, this country. This cannot go on without something happening. A quietude like tomorrow's. It will not end like this, the last quietude. If time continues to flow in this way, we cannot withstand anymore. We will probably explode. From now, the quietude of rebellion, the quietude of the people. The world will stand by us. It is the quietude of history. The biggest. Strong, grand country. It is galling to even say it, as if even the universe belongs to him. Everything in this country is big. Big schools, big cities, big learning centers. But can it really be said that what remains in this land, what remains in the future, is truly big? For Mr. Kim's generation, for the tyrannical generation, it's a laughable tragedy, this bigness that blows, this country up like a balloon. The 16th of February, the birthday of Kim Jong Il, the biggest event for the people. The people are mobilized. The entire country is a hive of activity, a huge festival. 10,000 people singing and dancing, a grand performance, 50,000 singing in, an immense chorus, 100,000 performing mass calisthenics, hundreds of thousands in a tremendous torch-lit parade, 1 million in a big mass demonstration, a parade of the troops in a grand nationwide event, big, huge, immense. There is but one purpose. All that bigness is offered to deify, to make Kim Jong Il even bigger, to make the people even smaller. What is considered big, that the people hold, is the big tragedy of the infringement of human rights, of the hundreds of thousands imprisoned and tortured, the tragedy of millions starved to death, the huge tragedy of hunger. The people of the world watch over us with pity, the tremendous number of suffering beggars. We can no longer withstand it. The largeness of this anger, the immensity of the actions. To the biggest evil dictator we say, you will know now of the biggest strength, the children of North Korea, as we once were. That is the true bigness. That must be.